He's a World Cup winner in 2003, also part of the team in 2007 that made the final, started in both finals, played 64 tests for his country. What a pleasure to have you on the show, Ben Kay. Thanks, mate.
Oh, thanks for having me, Martin.
So looking forward to this tournament. And look, we'll get on to you in a second, but obviously I'm an All Black fan. I'm a New Zealander. We always just talk about ourselves, don't we? And a bit of a glass half empty thing going on here, I think, in New Zealand at the moment. Look, we just don't really know how good our team is because we haven't displayed the kind of consistency over the last few years that you demand of an All Black side. So what are your thoughts on where we're at?
Well, I'm delighted for once in my life to be talking about the All Blacks because I don't want to talk about England
Go
because
on,
we're
son.
in an even worse state at the moment by a long way. But look, I think there are glimpses, aren't there, of what you can do. We saw that at times in the Rugby Championship. I think hearing what my your fellow Kiwis that live over here are saying, and from watching myself, that there's for me a worry that when you need to go to the power game, you probably don't have some of the bodies that perhaps you had in the past that could do that. The likes of, although great players with ball in hand, but the likes of Marnonu, to give you a bit of power in the back line and particularly in the back row, that's an area that you've always been so strong. And watching that South Africa game, your boys got duffed up a little bit. So I got no doubt that New Zealand can set the standards in attacking rugby, and everyone needs it to click on the day. But if there's one worry for you guys, it's the power game. And having said that, what a start you've got to the tournament. You go out and beat the hosts in Paris, and I'm sure the confidence will rise in the players and everyone back home as well.
Ben, let's go back to Twickenham, and I'm not talking about the South Africa test. I'm talking about last year when we had you on the absolute ropes, and you came back in that last 20 minutes, and it ended up in a draw. But I just would have thought the momentum from that match might have been the confidence boost that the team needed, but it hasn't happened since then. Why is that?
It's really strange, isn't it? We compare sort of England going into a World Cup quite similar to us in '07. That we were really at rock bottom. So that the hope for English fans is that this team can recreate that and find some sort of momentum and confidence throughout the tournament to go through. But you look at the difference, and a lot of guys had retired between 2003 and 2007. A lot of really big leaders within the team, the likes of Martin Johnson, Neil Back, and Jason Leonard. The big sort of granddaddies of the team had gone. This England team, that's not the case. The superstars of the team in 2019, and for me, that semi-final performance is the best I've ever seen any England team play. Better than anything we created. They were outstanding. They played their final a week early, maybe, and they weren't able to match South Africa physically. But all those guys at the time, you're saying, where can Maro Itoje go? This guy can do everything. He's a supreme athlete. He's disruptive around the field. And he's a shadow of his former self at the moment. You can't believe a player of such world-class ability cannot be delivering. Now, there's rumours about sort of an illness that he's had over the last couple of years and things, but England need those guys to really step up. The leaders that were there in 2019 to really step up. Why has it gone wrong? I think Eddie Jones can have an amazing effect on a team, can lift them. And all the Australians that we spoke to when he first got the job were saying, you'll love him for the first few years. But he's got a shelf life. And Eddie himself actually was interviewed when he first got the job, and he mentioned 2003 and staying on in the Australian job after 2003 and saying it's the biggest mistake I've ever made. Having got to the final, I should have walked away. I won't make that mistake again. And then 4 years later, he decides to stay on with England. And the problem with Eddie is if it's going your way, it's great. But if it's not, it can be really destructive. His sort of style of coaching, his style of man management. He went through an unbelievable amount of coaches and assistant coaches, backroom staff, doctors, the turnover was unreal. And I think that's a big problem for England, that when you have a high turnover, you don't get that club feel for your international side, which you really, really need. Otherwise, it's just a load of blokes that are thrown together. And I think that's where the confidence started to go wrong with England, and they haven't rediscovered it. And Steve Borthwick's come in. How he operates is very much simplify everything, go right back to basics, and then try and build things back on. So your kick chase, your defence, your set piece, and they will all get stronger and stronger. But is that enough at a World Cup? The only thing I'd say is that, from us in 2007, we did exactly the same, albeit halfway through the tournament, and said, right, let's just be really difficult to beat, try and make the opposition make a load of mistakes, and then we'll capitalise on it. And it served us quite well until we met South Africa.
That's the recipe how to win a World Cup. And, we've got to get our heads around this. You don't win a World Cup playing Super Rugby 6 tries a game and everyone scores 52 points. I mean, that's not how you win. You win by kicking your goals, by dominating set piece, by getting up there in territory. I don't need to tell you this. You guys were absolute experts in 03. Plus, you could play, of course.
You win a Rugby World Cup in the dark moments. You don't win it in the happy moments where everything's going well. It's how you get yourselves out of a hole. And your team's in the 2011 final, for example. That was by no means an All Blacks free-flowing performance, but you got the job done. You compare that to losing in 2007, and I know there's a decision that you guys don't like talking about.
No, we didn't score a point in that second half, Ben. That's the reality. We didn't score a point in that second half, and so it's down to us. You can talk about Wayne Barnes as much as we like, and I mean, obviously that stuck in the core, but at the same time, we had that game and we could have won it, and we didn't win it. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. But you learn your lessons, don't you? And actually, for all me saying Eddie Jones probably should have gone after the last World Cup, sometimes it takes a coach a go at failing before they realise what they need. And you see a few World Cup coaches that they go into a World Cup with lots of confidence and bravado. It doesn't go well for them, and they come back 4 years later and win it. Clive Woodward did it. There's a big
Graham
history
Henry
of it.
did it.
So you've got exactly. You've got to learn from those mistakes. And I always remember Martin Johnson. He was the best leader I ever played under. And he wasn't one for Churchillian speeches or anything, but he always said the right thing at the right time, or knew when to shut up and not say anything. And when we had a big loss against France in the lead up to that, I just remember him saying, in the change room afterwards, these scars are what you'll carry around for the rest of your life, but it'll be what you look at when you're in a dark moment next time you're in a hole, and it'll get you through. You'll work out what you did wrong in these moments, and you won't do it again. It was a big part of any successful side is their resilience.
Can one man make you run through a brick wall, mate? Because I'm just starting to charge up with you saying that. I mean, look, I tell you what, Ben, as much as we have this rivalry thing, I mean, there's not a genuine rugby fan in the world that did not love that 03 side. Look, yourself and Delali, and as you say, your big boy up front, Martin Johnson. I mean, these guys are Neil Bad. These guys, just awesome players, mate, that had heaps of character as well. That's what I like about them.
We one of the biggest things for us was I think if you tried to put a moment where we genuinely believed we could win the World Cup, and we actually felt going into it that if we didn't win it would be a travesty, was after we beat you guys in Wellington.
6 against 8 in the scrum, mate.
The 6-man scrum. Yeah. Before the game, after the game, we all saved the newspaper reports that called us White Hawks on steroids. We loved it. We put it up in the changing room. It became the forward with the newspaper article said children all over New Zealand were wetting their beds, and we thought, we've done a job there. We've actually, only second time England have won in New Zealand, and it sort of sent out a message that we could beat anyone anywhere in the world, and that gave us a huge amount of confidence going into the tournament, and probably. Similar to South Africa's victory against you guys, we probably, the reputation for us amongst the other teams became a little bit more scary after that. And South Africa last week, there'll be a lot of teams, France included, looking at that performance, going, how do you match that power?
Couple of quick things, we'll let you go, mate. Thank you so much for your time. What a cracking opening weekend. Obviously, the All Blacks versus France. You got South Africa versus Scotland. You got Wales, Fiji, England, Argentina. Just those 4 matches alone, mouth-watering, aren't they?
Oh, this tournament, sometimes in World Cups, you get weekends where it's a bit flat. There's not great matchups. One or two in the tournament. And I know how upset people are about the draw and how easy England's side of the draw is compared to the other side of the
Right.
draw.
Yeah.
But the only thing, I'm working for ITV over here in the UK. The only thing is they've cleared the decks, got rid of all the normal primetime programming and they are delighted because every single weekend there is an absolute corker of a game, and it couldn't start bigger than this weekend. I've got your game in Paris, and then I'm off to Marseille to watch England, Argentina, and then Wales, Fiji, and boy. I think Wales might be quivering a little bit, Warren Gatland, after watching how Fiji dismantled England.
All right, then, tell us who's going to win the World Cup and then who's going to win that opener, All Blacks and France.
I'm still going to stick with France just because I've wobbled a bit. I think France and South Africa are the favourites. I think you guys and Ireland are behind that. The wave of expectation over here is unbelievable, and it started 2 years ago when they won the Grand Slam against England at home, and I was in the stadium that day, and I've never experienced a rugby atmosphere like it. And the whole of France is behind their team, and the only caveat is the injuries that they're starting to pick up. I think they can deal without Ntamak. I think Jalibert, not quite as good, but he's a similar sort of player that can pull the strings. I think Dante's a huge loss against you guys this weekend, so I could easily see you guys winning the game on Friday, but France still going on and winning the tournament. That's a possibility. If they lose Dupont, it's all over for them. So I think wrapping him up in cotton wool is a massive thing. But I'd make France favourites, South Africa and their power game right up there with them, and then just tucking in behind you guys and an Ireland team that have been unbelievable, and your nemesis, Andy Farrell, great coach. They are so well coached, and it comes from the whole program. A lot of their players, most of their team are from Leinster, and they're so well coached. They all know exactly what they're doing. They never have a dip in performance. It's always at a high level, consistent. But I just don't think they can take their game to another level like France and South Africa can do at the moment when required. And you guys at times, but they won't make mistakes, Ireland. And I think the losses that they've had against Leinster have had in the European Cup, against La Rochelle in the big finals, they've not quite managed to get over the line. I think that will have dented their confidence a little bit. But I don't think there's ever been a tournament where there's been so many genuine contenders, and that's why it's so exciting.